Oh boy, do we have a doozy today, you guys? We're going to talk about the uninhibited world of cheating. Are you ready? Let's go. Welcome back to another week of the Restart Podcast, y'all. My name is Sabrina Neely. I am your host and creator of the show. And listen, cheating is not something that we ever want to talk about. It's very taboo, it's very forbidden, and it's just wrong, plain and simple. But it needs to be discussed and brought to the forefront because, as you see in the title, it is most definitely an epidemic. It has unfortunately become that in today's world. And I wanted to bring it to light and talk about it because I know myself, not only have I been cheated on, I have been approached by so many men here lately, especially who are married or in serious relationships who are looking to cheat. And I'm not going to call any names in the show, of course. And this is also not a male bashing episode because cheating occurs on both sides. Both men and women cheat, and both men and women have been cheated on. So let's start with why people cheat. And I know there's different opinions. Some people will say it's our primal instinct to cheat, to not be with one person for the rest of our lives. And, men are just naturally hunters. They go out looking for their prey, basically. Men are very predatory in general. Not saying women are not, but women are usually more passive, whereas the man is the hunter, the chaser, the pursuer. And I know sometimes a man will kind of put you in that role, ladies. He'll try to reverse it to play with your head a little bit and see if you're actually going to chase him, right? But naturally, men are hunters by nature. So they go out seeking prey. They go out looking for validation, looking for partners, looking for variety. So some people will say that it actually is a natural primal urge to cheat, or at least to have that desire to. And then other people will say that men get bored with their partners, they get tired of the same vagina. They want different sex partners. They have fantasies that maybe their current partner is not fulfilling. And so they go out looking to fulfill that fantasy, whether it be through another partner, or they might go to a dating site or even an escort site or a certain fetish site to find that, right? So really, it comes back to, though, why do people step out on their partners? And I'm not a therapist. I'm not, a psychologist or anything like that. But I have been in this world long enough that I've seen it for myself in both single men, men in relationships, and unfortunately, married men. And the biggest reason I can tell you why they cheat is, frankly, they just don't want to be faithful. Plain and simple. They just don't want to be with one woman only. Now, we've talked about this in prior episodes, but ladies, what you really have to understand is that love and sex are two totally different things in a man's mind. Okay. A man can love you and still cheat on you. And you may be saying, I don't think so. I don't think so, Sabrina. But let me say that again. A man can love you, meaning he's willing to provide and protect you, but still cheat on you, because men do not equate sex with love. Sex to them is purely physical. It is not emotional. They have no attachment to the act of sex itself. Okay. So a man going out and sleeping with another woman or another man, because let's get real, that happens, right? A man stepping out on you for another partner is not because he doesn't love you. It's simply because he just wants to. He's either bored, y'all had an argument and he don't feel like making up with you right now. He's attracted to the girl at work and he wants to see if he can get in her pants. He wants to see if he has a chance with her. He had a fantasy about the neighbor across the street and he wants to act on that. All kinds of different things. If a man wants to, he will. And also, if he wanted to stay faithful to you, he would, right? So a man has no emotional connection to sex whatsoever, whereas a woman does equate sex with love. Because here's the physiology. When a woman opens her legs, it is literally like opening her heart. Think about that. If you take a heart and you split it open, isn't it the same characteristic that you would think of opening your legs? When you open your legs and you have your knees apart and your feet together, it looks like the shape of a heart, does it not? So think about that. A woman opening her legs is really opening her heart. So she associates a man penetrating her as an act of love. And that's why we as women take cheating so personally and so harshly, because we're literally giving you a piece of our heart when we open our legs to you, right? So a man would never cheat and be like, oh my gosh, I just feel like I love this woman, so much. I can't go through with it. No. Why? Men are opportunists. And if a man has an opportunity to cheat on you, he is going to do that. So truthfully, it all goes back to opportunity and his ego. Men operate from their ego. So whether he's with you or not, whether he's got a ring with you or not, whether he's got a baby with you or not, whether he's been with you 1 year, 5 years, or 50 years, if the opportunity presents itself, no man, and I say no man, but I'm sure there's probably one that could resist that temptation, but no man is going to turn that down and say no to that. Why? If he has the chance, it's an ego boost. It's a chance to prove to his masculinity, hey, I still got it. I can still hit that. I can get with that. Look what I can still go and hunt and claim, right? It goes back to that hunting primal nature. Does not mean that he doesn't love you, but it is a instinct inside of them that if the vagina is there, more than likely he's going to jump on that, right? So that's the first thing. The second reason why is our phones and social media. Those two things, I believe, have really become the enemies in all relationships. I mean, people say, well, why did our fathers and our grandfathers stay faithful to their women? Why is it that a man cannot stay faithful at all nowadays? Well, when you have a phone in a human being's hand and it's portable and it's a computer and a phone and a texter and a search bar and everything that you could ever want in the palm of your hand to cheat, I mean, anybody and everybody has access to any and everybody else instantly. So again, it's all about having the opportunity. The creation of cell phones has been a wonderful thing because we can stay in touch with our family members, our loved ones at any time. We can, follow people, our kids' locations and know where they are and, track people GPS in their car to make sure they made it to their location safely and this and that. But it's also become a way for people to hide things the most that they've ever done in life, for people to keep things a secret. And, now they've got all these apps where it looks like a calculator, or you just think it's some kind of, general information search app, but it's really a dating app behind that, right? So now you don't even know, truthfully, if the app on the phone is really what it says. But the creation of the phone has been an issue, and social media. I think, myself personally, I know that's where married men have contacted me the most is through social media. I actually had to shut down my Facebook about 2, 3 years ago because of that reason, because I kept having so many men pull up my name and reach out to me through that platform. And, I know it's not just Facebook, there's Instagram, there's TikTok, there's WhatsApp, there's Snapchat, there's Twitter, there's threads, there's all these different things. But if a person wants to find you, they will. And you can block them and you can create, all these different avenues to try to keep people from coming onto your page. But if somebody is determined to go and create a spam account to follow you, find you, stalk you, watch you, guess what? They're going to do that. So you have to understand that social media gives both men and women a huge access point for cheating. So again, the phone and social media. And then the third reason is people don't think that cheating starts in conversation when it actually does. Cheating is not just physical, we're going to jump in the bed and roll around for a few minutes, right? Cheating starts really long before that. It starts with a DM. Hey girl, you look beautiful in that outfit you posted today. Oh my gosh, I haven't seen you since high school. You look amazing. Age hasn't hit you a bit. Oh my gosh, I love your family. Congratulations on your new baby. That's how it starts, right? And then it progressively gets worse. Then you start going from maybe a random DM to, hey, we're chatting once a week. And then it goes to, hey, he hit me up Monday and Wednesday and Friday. It goes to every other day. And then before you know it, it becomes this back and forth conversation and flirting that will eventually lead the two of you to take it physically. So flirting is really emotional cheating. That's where it starts. And unfortunately, a lot of men start that kind of cheating at their job. They start at work. And, a man for some reason thinks that if he flirts at work, it's not really flirting. It's not really cheating because, oh, she was there and I was here and we can't help that we work at the same place. And, we're just coworkers and we're just chatting about work. But ultimately, that's where the downfall begins, right? Another reason why is that men just don't respect their wives. They don't respect their partners and they don't respect the covenant of marriage anymore. A lot of people are not getting married for love. They're getting married because they feel obligated. The man feels obligated to the woman because they have so and so kids together, or they've been together for so many years. They might be getting married because they feel pressure from her family. They might get married because everybody else in their unit is married except for them, and they want to be one of the guys, one of the old married dudes, so they might feel that pressure. They might want to get married because they want financial security. Maybe her and her family has money and he knows, hey, if I put a ring on it, I'm marrying into money. I'm financially set. Maybe he doesn't want anybody else to have her, but he doesn't really love her. So he's going to lock her down with a ring, but really not stay honorable and loyal to her by staying faithful. He just wants to make sure no other man can have access to her. There's all these reasons. Maybe he doesn't want his kids to grow up without a father in the home. So he wants to marry her to make sure that he's present in the home with the kids, but it doesn't mean that he loves her. Hell, he cannot even like her, and still marry her. It could be more of a business, a transactional relationship, the reason that he got married. So marriage does not hold the same high standard that it once did with our parents and grandparents, and I think that's sad because I know myself. The majority of men who have been hitting me up and still hit me up nowadays are married men. And I've really got it quieted down a lot because I've told them plain and simple, I'm not fucking with you. And, sometimes I did fuck with them before I knew they were married because 99% of them are not even wearing their ring. I can tell you that. So I didn't know they were married, or I would have to go search on Facebook and see if they were married. And let me tell you something about that. 98% of them don't post their wives. They're not posting their wife on social media anywhere to make it appear that they are single. So that's something else, ladies, to look out for is you really got to be your own detective here, and do some deep diving into finding out their relationship status because they don't want to put that they're married. They want to appear single. So just be careful out here because cheating is at an all-time high. Nobody really respects anyone else anymore. Nobody's willing to stay loyal because, hey, we got a phone in our hand. We can just go to the next app and find the next person or sign up for the next dating app and, tell the other woman what we just told the current woman, and she's going to sleep with us even if the current woman doesn't. So they always have options. And I think that's another issue why cheating is so rampant nowadays, because men know that they have options. Hey, if my wife won't give it to me, the girl over here will. If she won't, there's a girl at the gym that I can probably get. If she won't, I know this chick at work that definitely would. And if she won't, then my next door neighbor, I know for sure as hell will. So they always have options. So remember to focus on yourself. Put yourself first, love yourself, and make sure that you're not the one getting cheated on. All right, you guys, thank you so much for joining me this week on the Restart podcast. And I will see you next week for another episode. Until then, have a great and wonderful rest of your day. Bye bye.